Okay, so we're gonna start anterior to posterior, so from front to back, just to make it easier. He got both versions. Okay, so when I was taking this class, my TA only had one version, so when I saw this on the test, it was backwards and it confused me. So since he does have both of them, I'll point it in both structures. That way you know it no matter what brain you get on your test. Because that threw me upset. I'm like, I had a mini heart attack. Yeah. And I didn't even know that was going to happen. So since he has both of them, I'll show you both. Okay, so the very first anterior structure you're going to see is the body of corpus callosum, which if this is your whole area right here, it's going to be the edge right in front of it. So it's going to be this area right here. It's going to be the front of your corpus callosum. So right here and right here. You then have the genu, which is the big chunk in the front, which is both areas right there. And then you have the rostrum, which is the area. Think of nostril, your nostrils on the bottom. So rostrum, nostril. Give you some rhyming. Now you then have the inside, a black hole, which is your lateral ventricle, which is that hole right inside there. Now the stuff coming out of it is your choroid plexus. Okay, it's the black goo, which there isn't any really. Oh, there's some inside there. There's some right there too, but it's coming out of your ventricles. You then have going up here, you have your splenium of corpus callosum. Now, within your corpus callosum, you have two different color differentiations. You have a darker and a lighter color. Your lighter is going to be the bottom of it, so think of rostrum. And the darker is going to be up top your splenium of corpus callosum. Now, as you can see right here, it starts to change colors. It goes from dark to light. That's your fornix. So you can think of a fork, like where it forks. Your fornix is the lighter portion at the top, right up here. You can also think, I don't know, it forks together. Okay, so that's your corpus callosum. Now you have your commissures, which are a little hard to see. Let's see if I can. Here's a good one. Okay, so anterior commissure is going to be anterior to your brain. So your anterior commissure is right there at the bottom of your corpus callosum, or beside your thalamus, whichever one you want to think of. It's right there. You can kind of see where there's a color differentiation there. And then this one, there really isn't one. You can kind of see it. This one's actually really good. It's a ball. See that ball right there? That right there? If y'all can see it right there. That like ball looking thing. That's your anterior commissure. And then your posterior, yeah, it's really small. That's why it's almost hard to see. You got a lot of choroid plexus. See that black stuff? It's your choroid plexus. Okay, posterior is kind of not there. Your posterior is right here. It's going to be right next to your colliculi. So think top, bottom of your thalamus. Okay, big round portion is your thalamus. Like I told you guys before, pick a structure that's really defining in there and then learn everything around it. It's an easy 30 points on your test if you can do that. So thalamus right there. Now above the thalamus, you have a teardrop shape right here. Right here, it's above the thalamus. It's your habenular nucleus. Now when your brain separates like that, it's on top of your thalamus. So let's see if I can get a better one. It's right here. Yeah. Now going closer, your pineal body's kind of there. See that ball? It's your pineal body. It's the only singular structure. So if you cut the brain in half, you're not going to have two sides of it. It's just one ball in your brain. Okay, so your pineal body is right next to your habenular nucleus. So if you have your thalamus, which is a circle, you should have a bump here and a bump here. You have your habenular nucleus and then your pineal body. Right next to those, this is a really good one right here. You have your superior colliculus. See how it's a bump and it's much bigger? Right there is the defining. superior colliculus, inferior colliculus. Your superior, so it's going to be up top. Inferior means below. So you just remember your superior is on top. Now right below that is your tegmentum. Now, don't get that confused with tectum. Your tectum is your colliculus together. Your tegmentum is this big portion underneath it. Right there. And same right here. Your tegmentum. Superior colliculus, inferior colliculus, tegmentum. Sorry. Okay. Now you have your optic chiasm, which is this chunk down here hanging off. Optic chiasm. Now beside that, right here, trying to think of what that would. Right beside it is your that's it, mammillary body. So you have optic chiasm, mammillary body.
Is that one kind of destroyed?
Yeah.
Okay, it should be like a little bump, right?
Yeah, it should be a bump, but this one's kind of cut off. Like it got ripped off, I guess. So there's 3 ridges on the bottom of your brain: optic chiasm, mammillary body, and then basis pedunculi are the bottom portions. Your basis pedunculi, or however you want to say it, is right below your tegmentum. So here's 5 easy points. Thalamus, superior colliculus, inferior colliculus, tegmentum, basis pedunculi. A lot of things like he was telling you about the capsules, if you remember the 5 orders of them, it's 5 easy answers right there. This is all memorization. You don't have to remember any of this once you walk out the door. So just memorize it right now. So basis pedunculi. Now, going up top above this area, the corpus callosum, you have a pretty deep line in your brain. It's right here or right here. This one's kind of destroyed. This one's a little better. Now that one is your cingulate sulcus. So since there's not many sulci in this view, it's the only one singular. Singular sulcus, cingulate sulcus. So that's one way you can memorize. And then right below it, that brain matter, that gray matter, is your cingulate gyrus. So those are the only sulci and gyres of this view. So if you can remember, it's the only one. Singular, cingulate. So cingulate sulcus, cingulate gyrus. Okay, all those are done. Okay, surrounding your thalamus is what ventricle? Every time? Third ventricle, every single time, no matter what view you're in. If you can remember that, you're going to remember it for every single view, and which is really important when we get to the coronals, because the coronals are a pain in the ass, and knowing the third ventricle is by the thalamus, you're going to get almost all of them correct. So third ventricle. Now, the other ventricle right here, this is a really good one. See this empty part of the brain right there? This one's pretty good too. It's your cerebral aqueduct. It's right below your inferior colliculus. And just think it's an aqueduct leading to the, like water running through your aqueduct. So cerebral aqueduct then leads to your fourth ventricle, which is right underneath this portion of the cerebellum. So fourth ventricle. Now see this flap of skin right here? See that? See that like flap of skin? That's your anterior medullary velum. So anterior, the front of this corpus callosum, and velum, I don't know how to do that one.
Can you point it out again?
Yeah, it's right here. That flap of skin.
Okay.
Think of it, it looks like a hair. My TA said something in a different language. I don't know, but I don't know that language. So, anterior medullary velum. That connects your cerebellum to your brain. You can kind of think of it like that. And it's gonna, I wish he got the needle, but it's literally gonna be tacked in there. It's not gonna like be in the brain at all. It's gonna be through that strip. After the fourth ventricle, you have area postrema. So literally posterior area. Area postrema, posterior of the brain. You then have your fifth ventricle, which is the central canal of the spinal cord, which hopefully by this point you guys get the gist. It's the middle of the spinal cord. and then your spinal cord. Okay, now getting into this area, since you guys don't have to know the lobes, your arbor vitae is the branches in your cerebellum. So it can be tagged anywhere that has the branches, all the way through. Now, fissure prima is right here. You know what fissure is. Fissure means a line. So it's the line within your cerebellum. It's the thing that differentiates between your anterior and posterior lobes, which you guys don't need to know. So fissure prima is the line within the cerebellum. And then your nodule is the bottom part of it, right here. So since there's only 3 things you need to know in your cerebellum, arbor vitae, the tree, people call it the tree of life sometimes, arbor vitae, nodule, and then fissure prima. Fissure is the only line, so if you can remember arbor vitae, as long as nodule is in your brain somewhere, you can figure out that it's there. So there's only 3 things to know for you guys in the cerebellum. And that's it for this view. I'm trying to think. Yeah, that's it. I got everything this time.
Where would they pin the